Neil, let's do another couple of minutes as normal. Mr. Mark. Bring water. Morning, Mr. Mark. Of course, good morning, everybody. That in a minute. Morning, morning, morning. Okay, that's past. We can start. A couple of trades are sent out today. Short on this one, clearly getting a better price because it's sent out an entry at 35. So if you like the trade, you're actually getting a better price. Don't forget, it's the price or better if you like the trade. Clearly, it's a better price. Okay, Ramia. I can't remember what I've done wrong. Well, you say you can't hear. I'm assuming everyone else can hear, so it might be the problem your side. I'm assuming, guys, you can hear me okay? Okay, thanks for replying to that. Okay, so right. Okay, so that's going to be a better price. 35 to this area here, if you like. If you don't, obviously don't do it. Right. So why would I think that's going to be a trade? You know, the pound and dollars come out some stuff. I just think the dollar might be oversold at the moment, and I see a bit of downside on the pound. And Powell is not speaking till Wednesday speaking. Later on today at, let's have a look, Wednesday speaking, 5 o'clock. So bottom line is, if you're in a profit, which obviously clearly hope you are, and you're a little bit worried come 5 o'clock, we'll be the trading there anyway. We can modify the stop to break even in case the fundies stuff the system up. Okay, and if they don't, we make a nice profit. If they do, we break even. So that's your fingers crossed. It'll move 20 pips or maybe 30, 40 pips down. So you're in a bit of a profit. Stop, it can't be 5 pips, obviously, there's no point there. But at least maybe 20 pips in profit, hopefully better, clearly. So we'll look at that for later on if you want to do it on that on that area. You still haven't got the trade. All right, I'll pass it on to you, but you should have done. You're getting a better price, so you might, if you like it, take it now. The risks will all be different because it'll be in your favour. I'll post you now as requested. Please tell me when it is posted, because 2 will go to everyone, 1 will go to the MT5 guys, and obviously that'll go to the VIP. What I'm saying, the VIP group will get all the MT5 guys plus the extra. So I'll put them both to you now. Where is it? Just give me a second. Where is it? Here we are. If you haven't got, just let me know. Anybody, it doesn't matter how much money you got. If you want them, you can have them. Don't overexpose. You haven't got much money though. And don't forget, don't put a sell or buy stop in. If you like the trade, you're getting a better price. I don't know about the other one, but this one definitely. Where are you now? Yeah. Okay, hope you got it now. Oh, you see it. Only banners as well. I'll post. I haven't got you down here. Have I got you down here? I'm not sure I have already. Just give me a second if I do this for the guys. Just a second. I'm not sure if we're in touch already because I haven't got time to set it up now. Bad RUN. Yes, we are. Great stuff. Just give me a moment. Just for anyone new here, if you got less than 2.5 or 100 rand or 150 US, you'll get trades sent to the MT5 platform occasionally, and then extra trades because you've got more money. You can cope with the extra trades, obviously, clearly. You'll get more signal. Having said that, if you can bother to take the effort to attend the trading room, those parameters do not apply. So anybody on here, whatever the sum they got, and they said I didn't receive all of them, I'll have them here. I'll just pass them on to you. Assume I've got your name already. You've got my details. So I haven't got time to load you all in during the trading room. Hope you understand what I mean by that. Just be careful. If you get like 4 or 5, you get 3 or 2 signals. You got to pick one of them. Don't try all 3. And you might get lucky, but you might get the fact that you're overexposed, and even the signals work out. In the ups and downs, you might get money. You've got to have that kind of understanding of what I'm talking about. In quite a moment, I'll explain. If it's a lot of trades going on, they take precedence, then you'll have to get that at classes. Okay. Oh, brilliant. Okay, good. Well, you would have. Yeah, you might have from me. Let's get this. I've just sent it to you, Padron. So it might have been from me. Now, I don't think it's from everybody else. So another guy's asking. Sorry, I want to get this to these guys. Split the whole up, and then what the problem is, because you should all be receiving it by now. It's giving me a bit of an irritation. Not from my point. I don't really care. It's for your sake I'm talking about. Just send a quick Zoom. What's that? 1 second. All right, I don't know which one you're seeing. You should receive both. Remember, there's a difference. Don't forget between the one, the MT5, and the one on the WhatsApp. So send them both to you, Hera. Because what I do, I post the banner when it comes through immediately on the Quick Trade WhatsApp group, and that's all, just to draw everyone's attention to it. And you receive that, and you still haven't got it in your empty file, maybe the VIP guys on your mailbox, then that's it. But don't forget, guys, if your amount drops below the parameter or the bar of 2.5 grand or $150, it might be a trade you lost. You had 150, you lost $20, or I don't know. Below that, you'll see the banner. You'll stay on my QT WhatsApp for morning updates, as you know you're getting, but you will not send. No, I'm sorry. I'll do two things. Just bear with me. Okay. Yeah, I sent a couple. I don't know. Anyway, let's get back on track here. Let's get this so absolutely clear. I personally will post the banner onto when I receive from head office onto the Quick Trade group I've got, and there's quite a number. There's over 400 on there, to be honest. And some guys will have dropped below that level, if you like. They'll still get the updates. I'm not going to take them off or whatever. But if the sums of money fall below those two levels I mentioned, they'll still get the MT5 one, which is the below 2.5 grand one, but the extra ones they won't get. So just bear that in mind, because that will be filtered each day, each morning, and the office then will filter it and then say, these guys are still in that. So it's probably wiser if you can have 3 or 4 grand in your account. So you're not, if it's got 2.5 grand exactly, and it drops below, then the next day you're not going to receive it. If you're in here, clearly it doesn't matter, like I keep explaining. Hope that's all understood. Before we go any further, I'm going to put my details down here for anybody new. I want to just explain this because I'm not sure everyone's getting it, so just want to make sure everyone does. 061 529 3431. WhatsApp, don't forget. I don't mind a call, but I prefer to WhatsApp or a voice message, preferably a text message. Any more detail on voice message, if it can't be handled, I will call you on the Telvir, I think they call system, where they record its computer line, by the way, so we get from the echoes. I'll call you back on it or whatever. It's just basically like that. It gets quite busy. So just want to clarify this. A lot of people think, we're picking on the poor. No, we're not. The reason being is you haven't got enough money without risking getting margin called with low capital in your account to get extra signals. So you'll say naturally, which one should I pick? Well, I can't tell. I don't know. I'll give you 4 signals. They're all going to come right. I don't know which is going to win and which isn't going to win. Well, I don't know. I'm not saying what's a rubbish one. Don't ignore that one. I can't. So you've got to pick one. You can't afford to pick more if you haven't got the capital, and it might be the wrong one. You know what I mean? I've been looking back over the last couple of weeks or so, and out of the trades sent out, was still actually, believe it or not, despite last week, on about 2 out of 3 winners in that region, including everything, including shares, everything. So it's actually a little bit bad. I was getting a bit down last week because I'm feeling bad. Well, because that's just the way I am. So obviously, all you do with every trade is impossible. And of course, the credibility posted. But I looked back and just took a deep breath, took at the results. They're at about 65, about 2 out of 3 is still on track. Now, so I don't know which one is. So if you've got more money in your account, then you get 3 signals. You can afford to take them all without risking margin call and getting out free margin in your account. Now, the problem is I don't think everyone seems to understand what I'm talking about on that. And that worries me a little bit. If you haven't bought a course and you come and expect free training, no, I'm afraid not. You do need to get the training first before you come to the trading rooms, you know, the basics. You don't have to be an expert, but at least have a basic knowledge. But if you've bought a course and you're paying £1 grand a month for something, and you haven't been attending any classes, Well, I don't like, in fact, going to battle to help you, to be honest, because you've got to get some basics of what you're involved in, what margin is, what free margin is, what margin call, how that is higher risk on leverage instruments with a higher hope for return, etc. And those sort of aspects need to be understood. And if they're not understood, well, you need to go to another class and interact and ask and take a few notes down. I mean, if I say to you, yeah, you need to know that, but we've got some trades going on. I haven't got time to explain that now. There's other guys who do know that. I'm going to get into trades, which is the purpose of the trading room. Then you've made a note of it because you've been professional, a pen and paper handy, and then you interact with the class and say, this came up in the trading room. I'm not sure about, please clarify, and they will do it. That's the trading class. We use that training, the knowledge you gain from the SMC package, to make use of the practical aspects of the trading room. I want people to understand that differential. Remember, I don't work for Stock Market College. I'm a broker. I work for Quick Trade. I've also qualified to give signals and give advice. We also have account managers, a 4 is 1, he'll back me up on this, who can use our signals and pass it on because they come from a person who's got the piece of paper to be able to give them. I'm not saying I'm any better or worse than maybe somebody else, like you're not necessarily a better driver just because you got your driving license, just it's a legality thing. So those guys, we work in conjunction, not against each other. So if you've got your favorite account manager, you love him or her to bits, that's fine. But if you want trading advice or signals, whether you like it or not a lot of choice, you have to come to me because I've got a piece of paper. Bottom line, but we're all clear that. So not saying I know more than that guy or that guy knows more than me. I might be driving since the age of 10 in my father's farm. That doesn't mean to say I can now drive on the road. I'm not allowed to. But Joe Soap, who's just passed a test, might not be as good a driver as me, but they legally can because they've got the driving license. I've got the driving license. Okay, just so you know the differential. But if you get a trade from one of your BDE, it's got to come from here for legal reasons. They copy paste it, send it, that's all right. But they can't say, I think you should go for the FTSE as a long. And it comes back and then you say, it went wrong. Where's that? You can't blame me. I said, where do you get that from? Oh, my trading manager, John Smith, said that to me. Oh, well, I didn't send that out. Then we'll have to have a quiet word. I don't drop anyone in it, but I have a quiet word and say, don't do that because we don't want to risk our FSP license. You get the idea. So there's bureaucracy, rules and regulations. Some are good. We need to get it professional. I agree with that. But whether it being that or not, that's the way it is. Okay, so I hope we're all clear on that. Okay, I'm not trying to pinch business from the account manager, and they're not trying to pinch business with me. And they're extremely useful because they're business development people. They bring in business, try and assist on. Okay, we work very much together on it. Okay, but we're all understood. I try to help them. Without them, I don't have a job, and I try, and they trying to help me. Without them, they're not really why I say they don't have a job, but they're not going to get assistance. You know, we work together. It's a team. Okay, but we're all clear. Okay, so we're sorted. You got it. I sent the WhatsApp card, so just remember the differential. The company sent the stuff now. Okay, now Farley's not here, but I've been saying for a couple of days now, and I've decided actually not to talk and do it. So I've actually filtered my economic calendar to put 2-star in. So I'm just going to copy and paste the economic calendar, but just bear in mind, look at the stars. 2-star and 3-star. 3-star obviously is slightly more important. I filtered no 1-star, only 2 and 3. Some stuff coming on the 2-star, which Farn's been pointing out, and I've been missing because I've filled in mine to the 3, and I've decided, no, he's right, I'm wrong. I need to have. Just bear in mind, you don't want to browse by analysis, okay? So just remember 2 and 3 stars, but the 2 stars have some importance. So I've filtered it, and now I'm going to copy that to you, and you'd have the 2 and 3-star filtering. Okay, so there we are. I'm also going to, while I'm on this one, I'm going to put in the DXY. The dollar index is a DXY, also very important. Most of you got it, the 1 or 2 join me, have not got it. Copy, paste it, save it, keep it out, very important. And I'm also going to, while I'm on this, going to put in the US 10-year bond, not the bond itself, but the yields on the bond. That's the interest rate or returns on that particular bond it pays out. Like you put 100 grand in your account, you get interest on it. Same principle. I'm putting that up as well. So you've got that handy, because if that goes up or down, that will affect the share price. Unfortunately, inversely proportional reaction. So if you see the yields go up and the dollar going up, you want to be selling gold, and the stock market not exactly is likely to be coming off. If it's going up, obviously then the dollar is going to be strengthening. So if it's going down, the dollar clearly is going to be weakening, but the gold and the indices and the shares in theory should go up. I use the word in theory because a lot of emotions out there, there's multi-million players out there, and often, you know, they do stuff which is not always, shall we say, in the rational way. So that's why you'll get sometimes some strange noises coming out of the market. But I usually find the guys that are rational and decide to do the job properly usually come out ahead. The guys who stuff the market up a bit by going a bit, doing funny things, usually if they get lucky, it doesn't always last. So still stick to try and get some practical knowledge. Okay, how's it, Tommy? Hope we're all good on that. Okay, right, so you got the trade idea. If you took it, you received it, you can get a better price. It's come off a bit now. So I hope you have all had the sense, while I was waffling, you like the trade to go in at the better price. If you got it at 60, you're already in a slight profit, even though the trade's at 35. Please always remember the trade signal doesn't say it on there, but I'm telling you, it says that price or better. So if we want to buy at this rate or better, if it's below that, it's better. If we want to sell it at that price and it's above it, you're getting a better price. All right, so if it says it's 100 rand per micro risk, clearly it's a better price. Your TP will be a higher return and your risk will be smaller because you're getting a better price. I hope you all understand that basics. Okay, right. Sorry, I know the guys experienced know that, but it's newer guys. And it's not because they don't know or whatever. They haven't thought about it because all screaming in this information, it's new to them. So we've got to cut them some slack. You know, they come and say, this looks like a bit of fun. Sunday realize, hang on a minute, there's a bit to be learned here. So we try and make it easier, but even and clarify, but there's no ways around it. A little bit has got to be learned. All I can say is stick it out and you'll get there. If you can't, well, what else are you going to do to get somewhere in life unless you put something in? You know, nothing unfortunately is that easy. Okay, where was I? Okay, yeah. Okay, have you got that? Okay, so yeah, seems to be coming off a bit. We might come right, getting the better price. The other one there was the AUDJPY. You should all have received that. This one looks like it was a buy, just around the 91-ish mark or just above that. Yep, that was also a buy. And at the moment, it seems to be okay. So if you like that one, you got your risk reward. You should have all received it. If you haven't received it, you got less than 2.5. I think this one went out to everybody and the other one didn't. I can't remember which way around it is. But if you didn't, you only received the one, the MT5. The reason is you haven't got the second one. You haven't got enough in your account. If you want to take it and you're on the trade room, you can. Are there any questions on that? We need to clarify this. We don't want any misunderstandings. Well, I don't know. I think you've been picked on there, Mark. Did you stuff up their IT when they asked you to fix it? I wouldn't take it personally, but no, on a joking apart, I don't know why that is. But I'll send it to you now. Where's Mark? Okay, I'll forward on to you now. That's from me, but yeah, of course. That's from me, by the way. So it's not from the company. I just forward on to you as requested. Okay. All right, good stuff. Okay, so they're the trades. If you like them, go for them. If you don't, well, don't. I can't. Oh, Brent, yeah, I knew something. It makes you get up. Brent's looking a bit of a short on that one. I think there's a possibility. I know it's just kind of over 100 day, but it's getting pretty near the TP. I don't want to go into details, another meeting. I had to quickly scribble something out to Gerard on the WhatsApp. I was trying to listen to the meeting at the same time. But the bottom point is I see it setting up for maybe a pullback. And I agree with that. However, you won't be sent out to sell because we've still got a trade open, sent out as a long, and it hadn't reached the TP yet. I think the TP, if I remember right, was around about the 86, 90, 87, or 87 round figure, which it might just about might have got there actually, not quite. Nearly got there. I think it's around about this level here, somewhere around there, as the TP. So now I'm right in the middle of a trade. We said that short. That's going to really, we're getting a what's what's going on here. So we can't send it out. But we discuss things different in the trading room. Now, I think one or two might be still in it and they'll have a big smile. One or two might have modified stop loss a touch, kept a big gap and still be in it. Having said that, what's important, the guys who attend the trading room, is never mind everybody else. If nobody's still in this trade, if they are still in, then stick with the strategy, modify your stop loss. You might get a better run. It's doing very well. We've got about 78, 79. I can't remember we got in. Anyway, so it's doing hell of a well. Right. They're slightly different, but I don't think there's anybody in this one. Please don't take all day of it. All I want is a quick no. Don't send the no's. Just quickly, guys. All you're going to type out is a Y for yes takes too long. Anybody in this trade? Don't hold the trading room up for half an hour while you nervously pick at your what you call it board. Just right. Vicky's still in. Thank you. So obviously, I'm not going to turn around and say short the bread. He's still saying, what do I do now? So we've got to trade out long. I'm spreading it out a bit, but I hope you're thinking that should be basically obvious. Having said that, if you're not in it, do not do anything. If you're in it and still stick with the trade, some guys might think of a short on this one. And I'll be honest, it looks like it's got around about those high levels. It might be that. But I'm in a difficult situation there, Gerard. To start talking about shorting, and then the guys are going to be completely confused. Just started, but I'm telling me hold on long. And I'm talking about shorting. What's going on here? So unfortunately, Gerard, I hear what you're saying, but from a trading perspective, I'm going to pass on that. Having said that, I would say that if we can get a better price, if we can get to 87, I think round about those levels, we could get a pullback depending on the fundamental situation on the world. China, remember, is getting out, is starting to not wake, that's the wrong way. It's starting to getting growth again. Remember, China's had a very, very good growth of their economy the last 2 years. It started to have a bit of a pullback like everyone else in COVID. Now it's starting to grow again. And when they grow an economy, what are they going to do? They're going to drive around more and fly more. In fact, they'll transport more. Transport more, they're going to use more oil up. Use more oil up, what does that tell you? Supply demand. They can use more oil up, so they need more oil. Supply demand is going to push the price up. And that's one of the, not just technically, but one of the, what's the word? Not motivators, not the right word now, just pushing oil up. Okay. And that seems to be happening at the moment. But I think it's going to reach some sort of area around about these levels where we might look to short it down. So if you still think you want to preempt it, you know, you're more experienced, you know the score, you can do so, obviously. You can put your calculator up and you can make sure you got a risk at least $3 or $4 away, something like that, and make sure you get a risk reward in the normal sense. Doing it long enough, I shouldn't have to be telling you that anymore. You can do it, but I can't sit in the trading room and advise people to start shorting it when they still got long trades out, they haven't reached the TP, and they still got a smile on their face. Hope that's all clear. Got it. Fine. Remember, as I said, always try and employ some common sense. Don't overcomplicate it. Most answers actually complete common sense when you think about it. I'm not talking about going into particle physics. That's another level, which very few of us never attain, but we're not in the particle physics, astrophysics, Einstein, warping of the universe and time relative to velocity and the speed of light are constant. We're not in that business, so don't worry about it. If you ever want to get frightened, go into YouTube and start looking for a dissertation on quantum mechanics. That really will throw you, because all sense of reality goes out the window. Nothing makes sense. Frightening. Now, going back, anyway, Chef JP, I just thought pulling my eye there. Had a 146.20 as a TP. That was sent out. It reached our TP. So that's a bit of good news to start the day. We did have a great week last week. And if you're new to it, like Vicky was saying, you what the hell, all this, and these bloody trading signals, that idiot Roger trading book spoke to us how to do it, no crap. Some of them, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm not trying to cut my ass here, but they went wrong because the fundamentals kicked our ass. We can't control that. Fundamental comes in on the Swiss franc for the next 2 minutes. It could scream up or scream down. We don't know. But overall, they haven't been too bad to stick it out. So I'm pleased to say this one hit the TP. So that was good news. Well, it's fair enough, Vicky. I'll be doing the same. I'm coming to learn how to drive from you. Now, this the day before we had a car crash, I'm a bit nervous. But that's how we react. We don't think, well, Vicky's been driving very last 20 years, and inevitably somebody crashed into her. To get the facts, it wasn't her fault. I'm assuming Vicky is a female name. And you said something about blonde moment. Men don't say that, so I'm assuming you're a lady. Yeah, so you need to look into the facts. Just because some guy crashed into Vicky doesn't mean to say she's a lousy driving instructor. So you need to think a little bit on that. Maybe I'm making excuses, but anyway, that got the TP. Moving along. Okay, right, we got those two trades. Somebody mentioned Etienne about the dollar yen. I'm a little bit wary on this one. Never mind 15 minutes, very short. Remember, from I sit here, which we've got to look for trades that are going to be not really scalping or day trades. There's a slight difference. Scalping is when you have very, very tight spreads, virtually no costs, and you do several trades a day. Day trading, you might do one a day where you get in and get out. Why would you do that? Well, for whatever reason, but normally it's more luck than judgment, where it went quickly to your TP or quickly was profitable and you're out the same day. The next trade you're in might take 2 days. The next trade you're in might take 6 days. Don't forget, nobody can tell how long it'll be. What's going to happen to that? Look at this candle for 1 day compared to that. That moved more in 1 day, which is what, 64 pips, is that right? Just a bit confusing on this one. Yeah, 64 pips in 1 day. Do that same distance up here. It took, what's that, about 1, 2, 3, nearly 4 weeks to do the same. Look at the distance, look at the length of yesterday's range to that. So a fundamental might do it. So bottom line is, I'm not too sure if I will sell this one. I'm not convinced in the sell zone, the buy zone. We got Powell speaking fine today and tomorrow, and we got the jobless, and we got the ADP coming out tomorrow. And we've got jobs on Thursday, like I mentioned, and the big one on Friday, non-farms. Putting that together, why the GBP USD? I think it's basis that might get some moving before those occur. And the pound is particularly weak for the reasons I've given. Japanese yen is not that weak. It might get some government help to weaken it a bit because it requires it. But I think on the basis of that, I think it's a bit iffy to buy or short it. If you're a scalper, don't try that, you guys. And I don't know how you're doing anyway, because some of the scalping costs are doing too quick. And have you covered costs with the spreads involved? But that's up to you. But the bottom line is, I'm not so sure I'll chase this in either direction. And the candle or the indecision candles I'm looking at, and the tiny, tiny range I'm looking at, let's have a look. Make sure there might be large and they. Yeah, we're talking a bit bigger than I thought. Okay. That's quite a lot bigger than I thought. Okay. Yeah, so the range, sorry, I was at 600 pips. I'm sorry, it's an enormous move. A little bit bigger than I thought, but bottom line is, I think that would be probably better left alone. I've just got something there to clear up. Give me a second. Okay. Because I thought Vikesh was a male name, and then you said it was Vicky. Well, obviously, to me, Vicky's usually a female now. I was confused. Not get the wrong way around. I said this guy, and it's actually a lady, and vice versa. Yeah, I'm trying to think of an example that happened to me where one was a guy's name, one was anyway. It doesn't really matter. Got you. Thanks. All right, good stuff. Where were we? Fine. Okay, so I personally wouldn't be going for that. However, that is my opinion. My advice and suggestion would probably leave it alone, but I've said that to many and they haven't taken it and done pretty well. So it's not set in stone, guys. So what do you think? Yeah, I saw that. So it's now filtered to the Halifax, yeah. So do we leave this? Anybody want to, I'll put it another way, leave it alone. Anybody want to do this? Thank you, Anna Marie. Leave it alone. Okay, then we can move on. Right. Is Marius here? Let's check to see if he's here. Yes, he is. Because you quite like gold. Right. What's happening with gold? Gold, as I mentioned before, just to repeat again, will be buffeted around by economic fundamentals coming out of the US. Remember, they are inversely proportional to the dollar index, which I've copied and pasted for you, and the yields, not the bond. The bond go up, the yields come down. We're not just in the bond, we're into the yields on the 10-year note. So if they go up, gold goes down and vice versa. So that is not always the case. If you get a situation where the dollar strengthens and the yields go up and then gold goes up, you're going to get confused. Right. The reason why you're getting confused is it should be inversely proportional to why it's gold going up. You can't, remember always there's a fear factor involved, and gold is well loved in India, the Middle East, and China. China particularly, because it's basically got a bigger economy than more than that. So they often, for hedging or because they like it, etc., often go physical buying gold bullion. Now you can buy Krugerrands, that you can, you're allowed to, but you're not allowed to, and you don't want to be buying gold even if you can afford it, because they don't hear about it, they'll come and rob your house. It's not a good idea. So anyway, but they can physically buy gold bullion and then do that. And if they buy it, even as the dollar comes down, the gold's gone up because the physical purchase of it's pushed it up. And that's what happened a couple of days ago. So it's nothing's exact. It's always a yin and a yang for everything in life. But the overall indicator is far more in your favor. See, if you look at your screen and you see if it's minimized, you've got two screens all the same, all the better. And you see dollar coming off, and you look at the yields are coming off, you would expect gold to come and go up, and vice versa. At the moment, it's hovering around the 1850 mark, as you can see. It's popped down and up. We're looking at today's candle, which is 10 hours old, and it's a pretty tight range. Okay, would I go long or short on this? With Powell coming out today, anything could happen. It's looked like a slightly hawkish stance is the belief. We don't know, but that's the belief. So it's not a trade idea, but just out of sheer academic interest, I'm inclined to a little bit of downside. I think we might get a bit of downside, but that means absolutely nothing, and it's no way suggesting to sell it, because easily could turn and jump up, depending what comes from, quite frankly, a more important person than any of us, and that's Powell from a financial perspective. Hope that's all clear. Yeah, it's like giving you, Marius. Yeah, you could have a $4 range, and you're happy with that. You know the score. If you're happy with that, it's fine. It could sort of bounce around between about 1853, 1854, and about 1845, 6, 7, something like that. But then it's going to go outside those parameters till it's Powell tonight. Then anything could happen. So if you stay in when he's speaking, it's your risk, which is fine as long as you're aware of it. You don't want to be sitting it because you're not aware of that factor, and any profit you make is suddenly knocked out. And if it's drastic, which I do not think it's going to occur, by the way, he does not want to spook the markets. But just in case something's cropped up, he's no choice, you could get slippage. But I doubt that's going to happen. Just bear that in mind. Slippage, it means it goes to your stop or TP because the movements are so fast on the fundamental release. There's no buyers or sellers where you set your TP or SL. Just bear that in mind. Does everyone know what I just said that, or is that gobbledygook to some? Because that's important to understand. Gobbledygook, say please repeat. You understand that? Yeah, it might get there, but I can't make it till that's out the way. I can't make a call. I just said I think it'll come off a bit, but I see a slight hawkish stance to bring it off a bit. But that's my feeling. But I ain't gonna tell you go and put big money on. I certainly won't. Okay, right. The buy and sell order. I'm sorry. The stop loss or TP is a buy or sell order, and that is determining there's enough buyers or sellers to take it up. So Okechi, okay, if that's pronounced properly, is buying gold at 1850, and he's putting a stop. I'm talking shit. It could be Shiri. I don't know the name, so I'm assuming a he or a she. So I'll say he. Don't take an insult. The she just tell me. So he's going to put a stop loss at 1840 and 1850. If you're buying, that stop loss is saying I want to sell at 1840, which is fine. In a highly liquid market, there's plenty of buyers and sellers, no problem. But something happens fundamentally, that could shoots down and the dollar screams up. That shoots through 1840 and there's no buyers or sellers there until we get to, let's say, 1835, and then they might get buyers and sellers there. And then you'll be exiting it. Does that make sense? So in other words, you say your house is worth 1 million rand. It's only worth 1 million rand when somebody agrees with you and decides to hand over 1 million rand to do it. But if you say it's 1 million rand and nobody's going to buy it off you at 1 million rand, they're only going to buy it off you 950. Well, therefore, it's actually going to be only worth 950. Remember, it's a willing buyer and a willing seller. This is business all over. So it's not a question, you've got my TP there. So if it goes screaming through here on the stop, the TP is to your favor. You're not worried about that. You thought you can make 1,000, you make 1,500. You're not going to complain about that. You're certainly going to complain if you thought you'd risk 300, you ended up getting knocked out with 400 risk. Now you're fed up because it was because of the speed of the markets. There's no buyers and sellers. When you enter along, right, that's a buy order. Stop loss and TP will be sell orders out there into the millions of people in the market. Normally, case it's going to happen because there's millions of people with different points of view. Okay, if you're selling short, the sell order is the entry price, and then the TP and SL are buy orders. So you've got to assume someone's going to buy it off you that short. Normally speaking, yes, a bomb goes off from the Persian Gulf on Urine oil, that it could go right through it. 9/11, people lost a lot of money if they were going long because it went right. There was no buyers. It was all sellers. There weren't any buyers until it came off and a few buyers crept in. So forget that. There are some companies where you can pay insurance to have your stop loss, but it happens so rarely. You find you're paying more insurance than you are saving money. That's how insurance companies work, clearly. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in business. But I'm not worried about that. I'm more worried about bear this in mind. I'm trying to add to practical knowledge in here because that is the major problem with traders is they don't have the basic practical knowledge of it. What is actually happening outside a line moving up and down the chart? Okay, got it. Good evening. Thank you. And thank you for interacting because that's how creative people to do it. They don't, they're scared, they still don't know what I'm talking about. A month later, they're still making a right hash of it because they haven't interacted. We could have put a bandage on the wound straight away because they've been scared. The wound is festered. Now it's going to become a problem. If you see what I'm saying. Okay, this is what it's for. This is a forum to interact. And you see, Mars does a lot. And this gain confidence. Do it. And you suddenly find, hey, and we're not leaving the others out. We always go to the people who come in and interact. If you're not, you will say so. Can we please have a look at GBP/AUD? For long, I think there's opportunity. Okay, of course you do. Let's have a look. Let's crunch it a bit. GBP/AUD for long as there's opportunity up to 180.25. Good, because you said about 40-50 pips, Morris. You want to scalp, you can. I won't put it out to the guys. It's got to be at least 100 or more pip TP for guys to think of putting it out there, just the way it is. Okay. Right, you think it's so long. Well, clearly, first thing you look at, guys, it's in the buy area. It's above the 200, it's above the 50, it's above the 100, it's above the 10-day moving average. So clearly, on the day chart, it's in the buy area. Simple as that. Number two, it's taken out this guy here, it's taken out this guy and this guy and this guy. That's why it's probably looking so long. But if you look further back, we've got a bit of resistance here. So the long, I totally agree with, well, I agree with for a couple of tips. So what am I pros and cons. Those are my pros. What are my cons? Number one, it's got a bit of resistance. It has had a bit of jump today, probably a little bit of two-star fundamental of 130 pips. So my next objection to that, there might be some profit taking this level after such a big run up. Because remember, this day candle was actually a 10-hour candle because it only opened just after midnight. You get it? So a 10-hour candle, 130. This is not the NAS. This is the pound AUD, which means 130 in 10 hours, a big movement. Fundamentally driven, almost certainly. Probably some profit taking. When you're profit taking along, you sell to exit, which might be you've got to have a bit of a pullback. And the third worry is I'm not sure the pound strength is going to continue. I haven't heard anything from the Chancellor Bank of Bailey and certainly Richie Sunak as yet. Well, I have a lot of belief in him because, well, simply he's a very clever guy, investment banker. It's you know, it's what you call it, pedigree in that line is great. So he's a self-made guy, so he's clearly knows what he's talking about on the financial side. But the problem they've got over there in the political side is they've got enormous costs and welfare states, etc. So that is the major problem, and their debt is growing. Okay, so I personally find there's 2 or 3 ticks to buy it, 2 or 3 ticks to not buy it. For me, I would therefore stand aside. I would not risk going in expecting another 100-pip move on that without some sort of a decent pullback. So personally speaking, I'm going to sit on the fence on that one. However, you want a risk reward, you do it with pleasure. You do want to use a daily for a risk reward, put it below. That's only 10 hours. But then you're getting a hell of a 150 odd pips. So you really got to take it about 200 pips above that, which will make it 180, 180, maybe 1.82. You've got to be looking at really to get a risk reward. See my point, even that's not going to work. You get the point, so you've got to put it even higher up. You've got to put it up there. You might squeeze it there. Yeah, you can squeeze it there. I put my hand up, these guys, I'm not for this one. Ken, if you like it, Ma, if you like it, go for it. If you want to do something on the 4-hour chart and try to stop, tied to TP, let me know and I'll bung it up there for you guys. Even though I do it yourself, I'll still bung it up because the other guys need to get that crack of how to work it out, how to do their thing. We want to be where we help each other, but the more you know, the more in control, the more choice you have, and that'll help the knowledge basis. So that one, the daily chart, to put it within the 10-hour range of stop loss is not a good idea. Unless you want shorter term, then you'd have to use the 4-hour. On the 4-hour, even so, if you put it here, that means that's 2 hours away. That's you still got to put it around about these levels. That is your issue. So you've got to really do it somewhere around those lines. If you're happy, but then you're talking about 180 rand, which is all right, you've got some top. But if you've got about 1,000 rand in your account, you go for this one, you're risking 18%. That's 18% of your entire capital. So you're overexposed. So you've got to start thinking, I've got to have 2 grand or more in my account to get 1 micro. Anything below that, you're overexposed. But if you like it, I've said my bit, I'm not keen. If you like it, there it is. 2 or more guys want it, I'll put it down under Marnus's name. It won't be sent out because I'm not putting my signature to it. So you like it, Mark? I'll put it out for the trading room, guys, but it won't be sent out because I don't like to see other people seem to have bullying it a little bit the other day on the Dow. I'm not very happy with it, so I'm going to stick my guns next time. Yeah, but remember, you're buying the pound against the AUD, and I haven't seen anything coming out, and it won't be that quick either. And that, well, it could be, but it'd be so draconian, they'd be knocked out of office. They'd be marching down the street. Certainly do it, but in democracy, you've got to appeal to the emotions of those voters, and they won't understand. So, yeah, immediately start running down the street, and the Guardian and all that will be up in arms. Oh, dear me. So that's hardly like to happen. Dictatorship we could, but we haven't got one. So yeah, might go up a bit more, but sustained move up there, I'm not so sure. I'll come to that in a minute. I'm just talking about this one at the moment. In fact, to be honest, I'm thinking that we had a short on that. It came and kicked me. That's my fault. It did. So be it. Sorry about that, guys. But I think if I had to do this, especially gets to 1.8 around figure, I think that's going to hold. I would be going to short it. There you are for the record, just to be bloody different. Okay, so what do you want to do? Leave it alone, short it, buy it? What do you want to do? We need to move on. Can't spend all day on it. So what do you want to do, Marius and Ken? You're going to buy it or leave it alone? Two of you, put it down. Yeah, I know that, Ken. Listen, we're talking about this one now. Two more guys. I want to move on. Marius alone, he knows the score, but if you get Ken in, that's two people. I'll put it down to buy for you guys.
Mr. Rogers, I have $79.88.
No,
do you think British pound and USD dollars are a good buy for me?
Oh, yeah, you can on that, not this one. But I'll check the question. We're not on that one. Look at it now. We're on this one now. I can't do two at once. I'm not multitasking. I'm sorry to say. Okay, so two guys going on this one. Okay.
All right.
Well, put it down
I was planning to put the signal on my USD account. Hence, I'm asking if will it be a good buy since I have the $79 in my account.
Okay, I don't know yet because I'm on this one. I have to look in a minute. I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. But let's have a look. Buy, right? What we're getting at one got slightly better than that you went in, so make it 85. Give you guys a chance that you're around about that level. 178.31 and 1.8245. There we are. Put that down, Marius. Put not me. So if you do well on this one, you have full right to take the mickey out of me. Okay, right. I think it's a short of 1.80, so we'll come back to that. I actually think that's going to come about. We'll see anyway. Sorry, GBP USD. Let's knock this off quickly so we go to it. GBP USD, to chase it now. What was the original risk on it? Was 118 rand. What's that in dollars? It's about $7, isn't it? Something like that. $7. You got 70 odd. That's about 10%. You could squeeze it. But that is, you got in at 1.2035. Now it's slightly below that. So you're basically chasing it now. And my worry on deal, if you chase it now, I want you to have at least 20 pips in profit by 5 o'clock this afternoon. So if we do before 5 o'clock, we want to be able to in a position to modify the stop loss to protect yourself in case our situation doesn't come out as expected and the pound suddenly goes shooting up, the dollar comes screaming off, and then you will not be a happy chappy. And to chase it now, it's already about 15 pips in profit at the moment. The guys in already at the proper price will be all right. To chase it now, your risk reward might not work out. Will be enough gravy later on. Personally, you've got to work it out for yourself because you missed this trade. In future, do the maths. $70, call it $70. That's about what? 1,200 rand. Okay. You can look at about 10% risk. If you got 3 grand upwards, you can maybe look at about 7.5. Once you start getting into the 5 grand mark, you're looking at about 5% until you get to the interesting norm, which is about 2% risk, but you can't do it on small sums. 2% works for 50, 100 grand, rands upwards. Okay, you've got to break those overexposed rules in small amounts. You'll never get a trade. We're not going to get a trade with a 10 round risk. It's not going to happen. Okay, so just bear that in mind. So if you see in the region about 120 on that, and of course adjust. If you make a couple of losses, you're down to 50, adjust the thinking. If you make a couple of wins, you're back up to 100, you can increase upwards. But on about $7, $8, you can risk maybe, you know, it's $80. You can look to risk around about 10% of that plus minus. Just bear that in mind. Got to understand this risk reward. And if you can't do the maths on your own and you got to wait, you got to look at that one and look at that one and come back to you, and now the ship has sailed. And some of the guys got in that or better and really smiling, because they got around about the 50, 60 mark. So they're really beaming. They can even start thinking about modifying the stops already. And then they're completely protected against any funding coming out, unless you get drastic slippage, like I mentioned earlier on. What's the likelihood of that? Be honest, it could happen on a fundamental release of data, yes. When he speaks, unlikely. It'll jump around a bit, but remember, Lagarde, Bank of anybody, Bank of Japan, Bank of England, doesn't really matter. These guys don't want to spook the international market. They'll make diplomacy, they take it to another level for those reasons. I hope you'll understand that. Yeah, you can still get it, yeah. Still get it, still above the round figure, yeah. I hope it's still above the round figure. AUDJPY. You're getting a better price, absolutely. Oh my goodness, come off. That's not good. Oh, well, probably I'm not so sure now. That's come off. That was quite a nice one. We remember when we got it, it was around about this level. Sorry, this level on holding. I thought might get a bounce, etc., but clearly that's not occurred. So you've got to say it's come back down to resistance. We're still in it. Thank goodness. 93 is 9115. So we're still in it. We've got a few buyers coming in. I pray it's going to go up. So that's not looking pretty at the moment. It's come off about 30 pips. So if you like that one, Morris, you're sufficiently knowledgeable now to say, do I still look at upside? Then you can do. You might think, oh, sod, it's broken. I think I might get more downside. That's entirely up to you. You've done it on your own back a couple of times with some degree of success. That's your choice. But you're getting clearly a lot better price. If you still want to go the long, we can do well, yeah, no. Well, yes and no, Mark. That happened a while back. That was early this morning. I thought it was discounted, number one. Number two, it came out as expected. So
can you call in and ask me what kind of
please mute yourself. So you don't interfere with the trading room, guys. Yeah, it was 0.25% increase than expected. So it was not unexpected. You get my point. The big mover market's the unexpected, but the release will have a movement on it. At least now we know. You know, your wife comes home at 5 o'clock every day, but you're going to be a bit worried, and then you're always happy, hopefully happy anyway, that when she does. But if she's not there by 5, you start to worry. If she comes in a bit earlier, what's going on? You're being fired from work. You get the idea. I mean, it's like ridiculous. You get the concept. It's emotional, right? The expectation came in, there's lack of emotional response to it. It's like get lack of movement, but you will get some on the release of the knowledge anyway. Having said that, it's the interpretation of it. Maybe they're expecting some extra interest rates, or the other people. I don't know. The interpretation of it does what it does, and that's why sometimes you get the unexpected of a release when it should be gone the opposite way around. You've got a good way of putting it, but anyway, not brilliantly put, but anyway, I hope you get it. So, do I still think there's upside from here? I feel certainly that, and you're getting a lot better price. So if you like it, Marius, you can even do a slightly wider stop if you want to put it up. I'll put it up for you if you guys missed it and want to do it. Maybe put a slightly wider stop at maybe below the round figure. Make it maybe 89.8, something like that. And we'll stick with the TP at 93. You're still getting your risk reward, should do anyway, sure. The top of my head. Yeah, you still get a brilliant risk reward, but you get a wider stop. You could try that. If you want to stick with the original stop loss, let me know, or you can do it yourself, and you'll see it's a slightly different risk per micro. Hope all good with that. And you still like to do it, there you are. If you want to stick with the original stop, just tell me, I'll put it up. That you can try that one, or the original stop is 90.11. There we are. Yeah, obviously only $100 a month. Your choice. Anyone missed that trade and like to do it, not in it, clearly you're getting 100 Rand instead of 130 Rand of what you would call it, the risk for micro and a higher risk reward. You can either take a wider stop or you can go with the original and get it instead of 130, get 100 or 95 or whatever. Please, anybody not understand the maths of what I'm talking about, please say so, because this is absolutely vital. I will, sorry, I know I'm sick of hearing it, but I will go on about it because, like I said, like a stat record every time, people are not doing the basic arithmetic, think it's going wrong. They don't know they're doing 180 in a 100 kilometer hour zone, and they're wondering why they're getting into trouble. You've got to get this basics understood. You enter a better price, great, and just do your risk reward quickly. Don't think it says a risk for 0.01 to 120. No, you give me a better price. It might be in 100. Ooh, great. I can now go for 5 instead of 4 micros or whatever. It's same risk. What a pleasure. That shouldn't be difficult to understand. If that is difficult, well, you're going to battle the derivative markets, because believe me, it's a lot more complicated than that as you learn down the line. If you want to become more professional and you want to do it down the line as maybe full time, you've got to learn, you've got to do a bit more than that to get involved with it full time. Okay, all good. So just hope this is going to come to the solid party. It's trying to. Let's look at the hourlies. I think it's getting some movement. Trying, let's look at the 15 minute. I'm grasping a bit. Ah, bit of green. Maybe it'll come right. Okay, good enough. All good, Morris? Anybody else not taking this and want to take it? You got better figures. See some new names there. Joshua, you all good? Wendy, someone's on the ball. Thank you, Wendy. I forgot about you. Basic, talking about the pound dollar. Should come to your mind. Yeah, you're doing okay here. Right, you can do this. What a pleasure. Good damn point. Excellent. Summer's away. Well done. You can go in this and start moving on it. What I suggest you do, if you like it, go with 0.01, press the buy button, and then you can put your stop loss and TP in afterwards. Because if you put in as you're going for the order, it might jump 10 pips and then you're not going to get a better price. There you are. Hear that, guys? You like it? Okay, good stuff, Joshua. If you like it and it's moving, work out your volume. You'll know what your volume is. Bung in whatever the volume is, and then press the buy button. It sells them short. This is obviously a buy. And then after it's modified, put the SL and TP in. Because you fast move, when it's fast moving, as it's moving, you're missing out. You see what I'm getting at? What do you do? Just make sure everyone understands that. You want to go to the AUD-CHF. You've worked it out already. You want to put a volume of that. So you say 0.02, buy. So this is a buy, bang, buy the in. You're in now. Then you can go to your stop loss, double click, put it in, double click TP, put in whatever. And then you're doing it relaxed because you're in the market and the thing's going nicely. But don't forget to put your SL and TP in. You don't be unprotected. Dangerous. It's a TCAD for long. But this guy just WhatsApp me now with a question. Please answer that for me, because I can't. Like I get quite a few guys saying, no name or anything like that, saying hi. So I say hi back. NZD CAD 84.51 price at the moment. Before I look at buy or sell it, look like it's come back to. I'm having a look at what you want to do. I'm quickly looking at that. It's in the neutral zone. It's gone up to a bit of resistance. NZD is okay, middleweight. Canadian at the moment on the middleweight side. It's not the strong side anymore. Fairly evenly balanced. The candles look a bit sideways to a bit more tight. I haven't even looked what you want to do with them. So before I do that, just want to show what I'm thinking. Range 30-40 pips, pretty tight range. Would I want to buy this? Not getting going the upside. I'm not too sure about this. What do you want to do with it? You want a long? Okay. I'm not too sure about that. Long 75 and then short it 63. Can't get a risk reward. You've got to obviously take it up there. So you make an assumption it's going to be strong to break through these guys here to get up there. What's driving it up there? I'm not so sure. Canada has got stuff coming out. It's a bit aligned with the dollar. If the dollar strengthens, that will obviously come off. If the dollar weakens, it might follow suit, and then your trade will come right. I find there's far more balls in the air than there are on the catchable ground or whatever. Excuse the mixing of the metaphors here. I personally think there's more reason to leave it alone than to buy or sell this one. I'm going to leave it for that reason. Another one, please read the signal as well. Okay. Got to go. I understand that. We've got stuff to do. Thanks for joining me as always. Thanks, Tony. Yeah, of course, absolutely. I have a look through from reasonably early, I suppose. Once they crack a door, maybe after 6, 7, or something like that. We go through fairly quickly, but the guys like the strategy room around Upper State to discuss. I've sent out a couple beforehand, and the office decided to wait till that before they send it. They've got stuff to do. Sometimes you miss it, sometimes not. So sometimes we do get it out a little bit later. But from your point of view, I hear you. It might look like a beaut a couple of hours ago, but now you can ship a sale job. For me, as I look at it right this particular instance, at 10:30, I would not be joining by the long or short. Okay, thank you, Dirk, as always. Thank you. Okay, so just let's see if we can get some sense out of this AUD. Let's have a look at the AUD, GBP AUD. Some guys want to long it. I wanted to short it at round the round figure. Before we go any further, let's look at that one. GBP AUD. That's coming off now. Did he get there in the end? As long as I short it around that, nearly got to the round figure to short. To be honest, guys, I see some downside here. So I quite like it. So I'm gonna, you've gone long for trading. I'm seeing a short here. What's that? 70 pips, maybe a little bit higher up to this guy here. It's out the way there. So make it. I see a short this one. Stick the neck out on this one and make it 1 1.80, make it 76. Exactly 100. We take it down here. Sorry. 1.8076. And I'll take the TP down to 1.7765 for you. 1.7765. Yeah, I quite like that one, to be honest. That would be my choice. Never mind, it's a buyer or whatever. I think that's pretty good. I think some sales are going to come in. And even don't go all the way down here. I think there's enough sellers to come in, profit takers to come to push it down there. That's my take. Thank you. That would use that one to put it out. Cheating a little bit because it looks more like a sell on that one. We sent out to the office. Give me a second. Just give me a moment. Just gonna have to post this. Okay. Oh, well done, Morris. Good. So you got out. Now that doesn't help guys who followed you much because you're out of it now, and you were the guy who came up with the idea. So just see what the guy's idea, whoever went in on that was Morris Singh on the buy. He's out of it already. So if you still want to stick with it, it's up to you. If you're following him, otherwise maybe you should put the same. It's coming off and speaking. I think that's going to continue down. I see that as a trader. I posted the trading, trading support WhatsApp. Anybody want to see this as a short? We got kicked last time. Let's get unkicked this time. 125 bucks a micro. And I have to be honest with you guys, if you do disagree with me again and you say you want to go long, when I say going to go short, you'll ban for 3 years the trading room, and the only thing you'll be allowed to trade is NGAS. That's how harsh I shall be. We go long on NGAS, that would shut me up. They make a fortune, and they call me from the Bahamas. That would shut me up, eh, Mark? That'll teach me a lesson, eh? Oh, Etienne, don't tell me that's not what I want to hear. Never get ahead in life. You tell hosts what they don't want to hear. Upsets them. What about AUDJPY? It's trying to hold here. It's trying to hold it. Never mind that green line. It's trying to hold, but it's not looking pretty. You're right. Oh. It's a GBP USD making up for decent ground there. Jumping around, but maybe the other two will make up for that. Doesn't come right. Yeah. No problem there, dear. Because I've got to just put up my just understand I've got a slightly brain damaged, faulty tires kind of sense of humor. Hey, the obvious like it. Just going to bear with me. Sorry, guys. Talk a bit of crap amongst yourselves if you like. Yeah. What's it again? Short. That's good enough. Didn't even write the bloody thing down again, dickhead. 77.65. Good, still there. Right. Right. Just have to bear with me. I'll do a type or rush it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, well, daily. If you're a $70, $80 account, if you start placing 3 trades, if you go risk factor involved, it could get the stage where the noise can maybe don't have enough free margin. Place 3 trade, as long as you're not free margin for the ups and downs. If you got maybe $2 free margin, the 3 trades work out well, and they go knock your free margin down in the ups and down noise. You know what I mean? Then you start getting margin pulled, and there could have been decent trades. You're going to be a bit fed up. Could well do it, Etienne. Could well do. GBP, look at that now. So that was a trade. Let's see, it should soon be sent out. Give it a few seconds. Send it out. Okay. Right. Just want to knock that off. Come to a couple of questions you put. It took me time there. I'm getting a little bit behind. Come look at GBP JPY. GBP JPY. Right. GBP JPY. We're on the 15-minute, the daily. Yeah. Very little action. Clearly, you know my opinion of the pound, so I'm inclined towards the downside, not towards the upside. But either way, what have we got as a range in the last week or so? 50 pips range. Is it enough to trade at the moment? I think rather wait for it breaks through, or I don't know, some bit of action we need there. It's just too little action there. When up, sellers came in, went down. Look at the cup yesterday anyway, not now. Buyers came in. There's enough action on that one. Okay, that's the only reason. Always look to see if there's any action on it. Look at the previous candles, not action. You want these kind of candles to get moving. This moved in 2 days, 504 pips. That's ideal. You're in here for a week and you make 50, well, a little more, okay, 50, 60 pips, and you start getting irritated and fed up. You get it. So I personally leave it alone. Okay. Got it. Okay. Long as you're getting it, that's the main thing. Perfect. Okechi. It sounds like a Japanese name, right? Maybe I got it wrong. Okay. GBP USD. They're jumping around a bit, but it's in profits. The main thing. More worry about this other one actually. AUD JP1. What's happening there? That's giving me some jip. This maybe we'll come back to that just now. GBP AUD, if you missed it, you might be getting a better price. Is it shooting up a little bit? Yes, it is. But is it going to be sustained in that direction? We'll see. But Mars already out of it. We'll see. But we've got to stop winding up. I personally am going to do the commentator's curse thing. I'm not sure it's going to drive it above the round figure 1.8. If you do like it and you're not in, and it gets to 1 point, it comes off, you're getting a better price. That's the way to be looking at it. Yeah, always remember, not just one dealer, but everybody. So how good the trades look or whatever, no good if you haven't got enough free margin, because even the great trades, they all work out. You could have been margin call in the meantime. Because remember, the deposit margin is collateral to the lender of the balance. Take that collateral away, they'll foreclose the loan. In other words, they'll close the position. We call that a margin call. Doesn't matter if you bought there, you stopped down there, you haven't got margin, you'll get stopped out there. We're not stopped out, you're margin call because haven't got enough money to keep free margin, to keep the trade open. Please understand that, guy. Very, very important. I just wish more guys would come to the TI and interact like this. Is anybody here? I'm not sure the trade's gone or bad, that's happened. But anybody here can honestly say they haven't learned more by coming to trade and not been coming to trade. Put me arse on the line and ask you guys out there. Be honest, if you say you learn more by not getting here, well, at least we've got an honest answer. I'd rather have that. But just let me know. Does anybody feel that they've learned less by attending than by attending? Less by attending than by not attending. Okay. You're still learning, but at least you're getting somewhere. Okay. That's the point. Yeah. I mean, Morris, I mean, you, all right, a guy, whatever, but I mean, you felt you just, if you hadn't come here and just gone through the books, etc., you probably would not have been the level you are here now. That's what I'm trying to ascertain. Okay, that's true. Because otherwise, the whole thing's pointless. We're wasting my time. I'm irrelevant. It's your time. I'm going to waste your time. Good. See, guys, now I've asked them to be honest, and I hope that's what they are being. And so, you know, if you come the first couple of times, stick it out, you find your progress in theory. I hope it should be quicker than trying to wade through books and all the other stuff. Okay. As long as, of course, you interact, you're not sure. Just a second, just give me a second. Gotta sort this out. Okay, good stuff. Right. Okay. So yeah, I think that's going to come off. I say I think the round figure is going to hold or just above that. The top is up there, so I think that's going to be okay. Just keeping fingers crossed. This one is really worrying me at the moment. The AUD, what was it? The AUD JPY, it's really worrying me still. Suddenly decided to come flying down. We all agreed it looked like it was holding, although one guy said he might more confirmation. I think the AUD should be stronger, as Mark said. Now, if confirmed interest rates come out, it normally would react that way. But yeah, it's I suppose say the weekly. Still a bit of support there, kind of the 4 hourly. Let's cross. Okay. Remember, we're trying to get a closing rate of 2 wins, 1 loss, or better. Obviously, want all of them to win, but just bear that in mind. The others might come to play. Okay. Not sure where's volume. I'm worried about that. I'm more worried about the volume point you made there in the MACD actually, because if there's not a lot of volume of buyers coming in, that's obviously going to be a worry. Okay. It's a very technical way of putting it, but I'm going to stick with that. Of that lot is the volumes. If there's not a lot of volumes of buyers, well, clearly you haven't got much defense. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. Bloody hell. Let's hope it comes right. Now let's see if the GBP is turning in yet. Still holding a slight profit. It'd be nice and jumping down as much as this is. It's going down as much as this is. And it might balance out. So not much I can add to it. Fingers crossed. I'm not going to throw my name away with all 3 coming to really start off the week badly, but we'll see later on. And maybe we got a smile back in the face later on today. Okay, fair comment. All right. And you say CHF JPY and the URAUD at the TP, so that's a bit of better news. Look at the indices. Rather be a little bit careful them with Powell speaking later on, as mentioned before. I hope so anyway. The Dow, Brent is starting to come off a bit, so just watch that, Gerard. It's coming off a bit, and I'm not all that convinced we're going to get 87, 88, but modify your stop, Vicky. Just modify your stop. So if it does come off, you're going to make a good profit because you've done very well that trade. Okay, Dow. If you haven't got the micro, get it. Just go to the portal, open up a live account, and get the micro. You might be able to add the micro here. But if you can't, open another one with the micro, the down in. Tomorrow, 1 o'clock. Oh, yes. Tomorrow, 1 o'clock. For you guys who know about the micro, got it. Don't join. You're wasting your time. Can if you like. Nothing to stop you. But if you want to be bored shitless, which is my line for an hour, join me. But the guys who are new to understand, I'm going to go through a little bit about the micro differential, contract size, and why it's worthwhile them having it. Even if you've got a large account, only way I say don't touch the micro, if you've got 30, 40, 50 upwards, there's no point. Then why would you? Then you might as well stick with a very normal one. But most people don't have that. And it makes a DAO and the NAS tradable, so get it if you haven't got it. Add it there, it's not there, go to your portal, open an account and choose the option of the micro. Simple as that. Now, yes, before I forget, Sunday, this coming Sunday, New York is going on to summertime, i.e. pulling the clocks forward 1 hour. So the session on the non-farm payrolls will be as normal at 2:45 start to get the strategy right and get all the people coming in. If some stragglers come a bit later or can't get away at time, at 3:30 they release the figures. However, the CPI will be different because from Sunday onwards, in other words, on Monday, the fundies are coming out at 2:30, and the CPI will come out 2:30, and the Dow, etc., will be opening at 3:30 from Monday onwards. So the CPI, instead of being 2:45, the Zoom session, you'll get more notifications sent to you, will be at 1:45, an hour earlier. Just bear that in mind. Okay. So New York going forward an hour, so it basically means we will be New York +6 at the moment we're New York +7. So it'll be 3:30 opening, and the jobless claims and all the other bits and pieces will then be opening at 2:30, not 3:30. Just bear that in mind. Okay. Let's get that on. Well, you're not helping me at all, Mark. You're supposed to back it up. Oh, well. So the short-term indicators are looking like it's looking pretty ropey. But I'm going to say what's driving it. I don't mind the indicators. They're just telling what the price action is doing. I'm going to see what's driving the price action. You get my point? What was driving that price action? It came out as expected, so it shouldn't really be that negative. That logic of that came out as expected. So what? And that's quite a few hours. This is an hour chart. Remember, it came out at what, 3:23 this morning, whatever it is. So why the sudden reaction the last hour or so? So I don't know quite what's driving that. Maybe something in China's happened, I don't know. But that's the point I'm trying to make. Indicates of telling you, responding to the actual price action. Can't think of a better word. But I'm wondering, why is the price action doing that? Certainly not doing it because I'm sarcastic, so nothing to do with it. Doing it for some fundamental reason, not much sure it is at the moment. And there might be some emotional buyers and sellers. So putting that perspective, we've got some support here. All I can say, keep your sodding fingers crossed. I mean, why do the wrong ones have to react so quickly? The good ones react more slowly. Why can that come flying off as a sell with the short trend? You know what I mean? And that eased off, it's got to go the wrong way. I'm not doing anything at the moment. Yeah, well, I know about that. Actually, we just discussed, we know about that. You should all have the economic calendar, so you'll be aware of that anyway. I posted this morning as well, just now, an hour or so ago. The Dow, the Dow, the Dow. Keep me on track and cozy, beg your pardon. Yeah, I do. I see downside of the Dow. Where the problem is 5 o'clock Powell. If he's hawkish, the Dow will come off. If he's dovish, the Dow will go up. I think probably leave even the micros alone until we get some guidance. He's big today and tomorrow, don't forget. 5 o'clock is only what? It's 11 o'clock now. 11 to 17, it's only 6 hours time. He's doing his thing. Battle of the master explained again and again. Look at the trade signal and see if it's worth chasing or not. I just don't think people do the maths and what it is. People are getting problems at a better price. Well, not this means. Let's write this down. Just a second. Get this things in the way. I can't see what I'm doing. Price. No one to say a better price. I'd say sell that at 33,400, and the price now for sale is 33,468. Clear, it's a better price. Why would you say, can I still sell it at, in other words, the house is R1 million and you offer me R1 million for it, and I change my mind to 950 instead. Can I still buy it 950 or should I buy it $1 million? I mean, what sort of question is that? It's a better price. Well, clearly, if you like to do the trade, you're getting a better price. It's a no-brainer. Maybe it's because I'm doing it every day. The concept's got to be understood. He's asking me lot size. It's given the 0.012, so it frustrates me. I'm in TR. You can see this. So make your choice. Guy's been doing it for a while. It's not even doing it for 5 seconds. I mean, if you see it's 0.02 is 200 grand, and you got 20 grand in your account. Why ask me? You should be able to. Yeah, moving on. It could be a little bit. It could be some volumes involved. Some volumes of buyers or sellers suddenly come into the picture. Don't forget, remember this is all leverage. So if it's 100 to 1 leverage, you take R1 million out of your pocket, you're having a 100 million rand exposure on the market. That can affect the price. Does that make sense? Don't forget, we say 7, 8 trillion, $9 trillion a day on the forex. That's contract value. That's not cash value. I hope we all understand what I mean by that. Again, it's contract value. So if Maris suddenly puts R1 million on the market and a 500 to 1 leverage, he's actually got contract value 500 million. Then he makes a good profit, and 5 minutes later he closes it. Right. That say 500 million rand has been done today. He does that 10 times in a day. That means 5 billion rand from one person's come out. That's where your $1 trillion a day come out of. Don't forget that. People often put out, it's a big amount, $1 trillion a day. We've got to understand where it comes from. And this sort of playing around with figures and half-truths is often where we do get misunderstanding, like from the media. You get my point. The Australian dollar used to run 200. Yeah, it did, but yeah, I know, but it's raised the cash. In theory, depending on an interpretation, increasing should have strengthened it. But having said that, it was expected. It was expected. Discounted in the market, that sort of thing. There's a few variables on that. But is it still giving us jit? That's what still is. Okay, looks like that one's not so pretty. Well, you might get lucky. I've said that before, and I don't know. Do what else to say? I'm disappointed. But anyway, the others might come right. GBP AUD. Yeah, it looks like it's hitting around about the round figure. Might come off. Keep your fingers crossed. It's 11 o'clock. I hope you can join. If you're getting value, please do so. Come join me later on at 4. And then don't forget, tomorrow's Wednesday. I'm doing a 1 o'clock show just for the people who don't understand micros and the contract differential on the two. If you do, don't waste your time. Can if you like, but it's not going to work. It's for those who really would like to understand how it works. Keep a pen and paper, interact, and then we'll show the difference going forward. Okay, fantastico. Catch you later. Keep your fingers crossed. Thanks, Ken. Absolutely. Thank you. Cheers, guys.